hello. I miss y'all. All right. So today we are going to be painting our summertime mason jars. So everyone should have a black, a blue, and a white, red and yellow, and light blue. It's okay if you just have it all on one plate or 2 plates, preferably 2 plates, okay? So I do want to begin by mixing all of our colors, and then we're gonna jump right in, okay? So first, we are going to mix up some gray, just a touch of black and white, and we're just gonna put it to the side, okay? So I want you to take a little scoop of black, and we're gonna take a nice little scoop of white, and we're gonna blend that up. And we're gonna need to make enough to cover the background, okay? So we don't want it too dark. See, that's too dark, so I'm gonna add some more white. We're just gonna blend that up nicely. All right. So that's a nice color right there. I want her to be a little lighter. All right, that will work. So we have our gray. Now let's mix up some purple, okay? So for purple, we're going to mix blue and red. So we have our red. We are going to bring over some blue, the navy blue, not the light blue, okay? So let's pull that on over. Then we're gonna pull in some red. Oh, and that's such a pretty purple. So we want it to look like that. Like an eggplant purple. All right. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. So let's clean our brush. Clean your brush as well in between the mixes because we want to try and get an exact hue of each color. Okay. So now we're going to make ourselves some orange. So that is going to be red and yellow. So grab a touch of red and then grab a touch of yellow, okay? And just blend that off to the side. That looks like orange to me. I'm gonna add a little bit more yellow. All right, I think that's good. Okay. Clean your brush really well. All right, now we are going to make some pink. So we're going to take our red. We can put the pink somewhere in between the red and the purple. Or however you have your palette set up. There's no set way to have it set up. You just want to make sure you have enough room to spread your colors out. So I'm going to grab some white, I'm going to pull it into my red, just a touch, and it's just going to lighten that red and turn it into a nice little pink. It should look like a little bubblegum pink. All right. The last one is green. So how do we make green, yellow, and blue? Make sure you clean your brush as well. All right, so we're gonna bring some blue off to the side, and then we're gonna grab some of that yellow. Now make sure you don't dirty up your yellows too much because we want to leave some yellow to make a really soft yellow later. Look at that, we just made green. Plant green too. All right, that's nice. If you want it darker, just add more blue, okay? All right, now we can just jump right on in. So as always, we are going to outline everything in black But today, I think I want y'all to add in the lines for the wall yourselves. I think you can handle that. So let's grab our brush. Make sure you clean it well. I want you to lightly dab it, just dab it in your black, okay? And then wipe it off to the side. We don't want it to be heavy on the paintbrush, okay? So we're just gonna proceed. All right, and like I said, as always, you cannot mess this up. That's my favorite saying, because you can't. All right, so just drag your paintbrush along the outline until the paint starts to drag a bit and dry out, and then just go back in for a little bit more. And if you need to wet your paintbrush, go ahead. So. All right, and get all these little random lines. They serve a purpose. All right. Now, I think we're gonna go ahead and add our lines. Does not have to be perfect. All right. Now this one, I want you to stop about right here. Let's see. Right there. And then we'll bring that last one down. So you should have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines total, okay? All right. So we are going to stay on the background. We're going to move over to our gray that we made. I want you to grab a scoop of it, and we're just going to plop it on, okay? Just plop it on there. And if you cover up your lines, that's okay. We'll just add them back. All right. Now, after you're done plopping, go in for a paper towel. Everyone should have at least 6 paper towels next to them. So you're gonna grab just a sheet. I want you to dunk it in your cup of water. Squeeze it. Do not completely saturate it, okay? We just want it damp. All right? It should just be damp. If it's too wet, give it another ring. All right. So we're gonna take our damp paper towel, and we're just gonna wipe up and down, gently, not rough, up and down. If you see a little marks left over, that's okay. Now, if you find that your paint isn't really traveling like you want it to across the canvas, go back in and grab some more. So I'm gonna go back in for some more gray. I'm gonna dab it around. Okay. And we're going to proceed. All right. So make sure you stop where we stop the lines, and maybe just a little bit above it, okay? All right. You cannot mess this up. So just keep on going. All right. So I'm going to give it another wipe. I want some of the white canvas to peek through for a very distressed wall look. So if you want it lighter than this, that is fine. If you want it light, add less gray paint, okay? And if there's a little paper towel residue on there, just lighten your little touch on it. I got a little heavy-handed, but we're still gonna make it work. All right, so clean your brushes pretty good. Now when you clean your brushes, just swish it around. Do not jam it at the bottom of your cup, okay? Just stir it around, grab your paper towel, and just wipe it back and forth. Nice and smooth. Don't smush it and do all of that. Just back and forth, okay? Now, we are going to outline our jars, all the mason jars here, okay? So we are going to go over the original outline with navy blue and white, okay? So if you want to blend it, you can, or if you want to do them separately, you can. It's still going to achieve the same goal. So I have that nice little navy, white, blue going on here. And we are just going to outline. Okay? And now I'm just going in for just some navy blue. Get your little lines here. So we're trying to isolate the mason jars. Okay? So I'm going to go over that lighter one. I prefer the darker blue, but all right, and then there's one more. Now I know y'all see this one over here, but I opted to take it out. Now if you want to draw it in, just paint it on the side and just follow the little silhouette of all the other jars. Just put it in the corner. But I'm going to leave it out, okay? All right. Now, any excess blue paint, just wipe it up and down inside the jars. Okay? You're basically cleaning your brush off inside the mason jar, okay? And you can actually go in for a little bit more. But not heavy-handed, very lightly, okay? And damp paper towel. Don't worry, we're about to fill in all of this space. All right. So, once you're done adding your blues to your mason jars, go ahead and grab your palette with the red and the yellow and the pink and the orange, okay? So grab your paintbrush, give it a good clean. Let's see. Now you can do this with any paintbrush. I'm just going to use this one because it's right in front of me. So if you do have a round brush, that works, but if not, the flat brush will work too, okay? So we are going to add our red, our yellow, our orange, and our pink. Now, y'all remember the fleur-de-lis, how we just went all around it with all the different colors, stopped, and then added different colors on top of that. There was no set pattern. This is the same thing. This is really just like very impressionistic version of flowers, okay? So I'm gonna go right on in for my yellow, and I'm just gonna go little dabs, boop, 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 like that, all around, very random, okay? I'll put a few over here. All right, now I'm not even gonna clean my brush. I'm gonna go in for some orange. And I'm just gonna put it right on in here. I'll put it in the middle. A few in between my yellow. Okay. Quick little jabs. All right. I'm gonna go for some red. These are all warm colors. Okay. So I'm gonna put some red in here. Put a little red over here. All right, I'm gonna put a little red out here. Okay, now some of that pink. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm gonna add that pink in here. Okay. So once I'm done with my warm colors, I'm going to clean my brush. And then I'm going to go in for just some white. We're just going to grab some white and just put that right on top of everything. And it's going to soften up all these super warm colors. And it's going to give it a good contrast. And then I have one more little thing that I want to do with this. Paper towel kind. Go ahead and dunk it a little bit. You can just get a little portion of it damp, okay? And then just press it right on top of all those colors. Lightly lift, okay? Let that rest. Clean your brush. And we're gonna go to our cool colors. All right, so our cool colors, we are going to use some of that navy blue right here. We're going to use our purple that we made, the really pretty purple. And we're going to use the light blue, okay? Now, I'm going to start off with this light blue. And it's the exact same thing we just did with the warm colors. We are just going to make little quick jabs. See, I love this light blue, so I'm going to use more of this light blue than any other color. So if you have a favorite color that's on the palette, go ahead and use that one. Use it the most if that's what you want to do. It's your painting. Everybody has their own style when they're painting, so don't try to make it look like anybody else's. All right, so I'm going to go in. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit more light blue on this side. Let's see, bring it on down here. Put it up here. All right, and there's no set shape to this, y'all. It's just gonna let your flowers just bloom the way they want to. There's no set pattern. All right, I'm gonna go in for some navy blue. And you don't have to clean your brush at all, so don't worry about that. I just do it out of habit. So I'm gonna add a little navy in here. I'm gonna add some navy down in here. All right. Now I did cover up my little jar line, so I'm gonna add that back at the end. So try to avoid covering up your little lines. All right. You can even add a little blue inside your warm colors. That's fine. Let's see. We're gonna add some over here. And wedge it in between the petals. All right, let it come down some, that's fine. All right, and last, I want to add the purple. I did not clean my brush, so I'm just going to go right on in. And look, you can add that purple right on top of that red. All right. You can bring it down. All right. Now, we are going to go in for some white, and we're just going to put it right on top of everything. Just like that. All right, now, damp paper towel time. I would recommend grabbing a clean paper towel just because the other one's going to have all the warm colors on it. And we want our cool colors to stand out too. So, dampen it up and just press gently against the canvas. Just like that. Look at that. All right. Now, let's go back in and we're going to keep playing. So I am going to add, and this is where you can freestyle, okay? So you can look at your canvas and see if you want to add more of a certain color at this point, or if you want to cover up some colors that you're just not loving. You want to try to get it as balanced as possible. So I'm seeing that I'm not having a lot of yellow. So I'm going to add some yellow, and I'm also going to mix my yellow with some white because I want to make a light, really, I guess a more mellow yellow. Okay. So clean your brushes because you might have more, the blue on it's going to turn your yellow into green if you don't clean your brush as well. So I'm going to add some yellow. I'm going to bring it over to a clean spot. And then I'm going to get some of that white. And see, I still got a little blue in it, but I'm going to make it work, hopefully. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to add some of that yellow in here. I'm going to bring it down. All right. Sprinkle it all inside of here, maybe over here. I love this little area. All right. fall a little bit. A few little specks over here. Oh. So what I'm doing now, I'm just adding white on top of it because I really want it to lighten up, and I want to make a contrast between the bright yellow hue and then a softer color petal. All right. And sprinkle that on in there. Now, I think I want to play with my purple, so I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to grab my other brush. So try to keep some of your white paint off to the side and clean, okay? Because we're going to need it throughout the entire painting session. So I'm going to bring some to the side. So I just took some purple and I added it to some white. And I'm just going to plop that on top of the purple I already have. And some of the blue too. Not much. All right, I'm going to dab while it's still wet. All right. Now I still want to play with my purple because I want to add I want to make more of a magenta. So I'm going to take my purple, and y'all at this point, just experiment with your colors. You can create so many different colors out of the colors I've given you. So take some of that purple, take some of that pink, blend it together, see what happens. All right, I like that. So I'm gonna add that near my warm colors and on top of my blues. All right. Put a little bit over here. And then I'm going to add some of my white right on top. And then I want to go back in for my pink. So I am really just playing at this point, y'all. Play with your colors. Bring a little bit over here. So I like it. Okay. So clean your brushes. Now, I think I would probably add just a touch more orange and maybe like create like a little coral family in here, much like this one. But I think that's the only thing I would do with my petals. Now, you be the judge of your own petals, okay? Look at your petals and see if that's how you want your flower arrangement, okay? If you want to change up some things, then add more color, put it on top of another color. You can't mess this up. You can just switch it up if you want. So, let's see. For my coral, I'm going to take this orange that we made earlier. I'm gonna put it to the side. I'm gonna grab, let me swap hands. I'm gonna grab some white and I'm gonna blend that nicely. And let's see, I want it in here. Look how pretty that is. That's so pretty. All right. Maybe a little bit in here. Okay. And I'm gonna go in just for some orange by itself and a little pink. See what happens. And that's really pretty too. All right. All right, y'all. I like it. So, now let's clean your brush really well. Back and forth on your paper towel. Now, we made some green earlier. But before we get to the green, I want to go in for some light blue by itself. So you can see this. I'm going to pull a little bit of white in it. Don't worry, I'll give you plenty of white so you can utilize it the way I'm using it now, okay? So I made this really beautiful light blue. I'm going to add more white to it. That is such a pure blue. I love it. All right, so we're just going to make some streaks. This is going to give the jars that glassy effect, okay? Now you should hear a dry sound because the jars, you don't want a lot of paint on them because the canvas actually gives us our main highlights. Now, damp paper towel. Let's squeeze that. We're just gonna wipe. And it's okay if you pull some of that color down. It starts to look like a little reflection in the glass. And you don't have to blend all of the paint. You can just leave little blobs in certain spots if you want. I'm going to emphasize the bottom of the jar by wiping off a lot of the paint. Y'all see that? All right, I'm going to do it over here as well. Okay. So now I want to, I'm not going to clean my brush, it's still the light blue brush. I'm going to go in for my navy blue. I'm going to give it a white. And I'm going to go over this line again. Some of your lines probably disappeared. But that's okay, you can add them back. And look, you can add a few. A few little streaks in there. And just move that around a bit. All right. Now, I want to find those little lines that we had originally at the top of the jar. So I'm going to grab some more navy blue Might even add a little touch of black, just a touch, not a lot. Let's see. So I think I had some lines in here. Now you might have to wait for your paint to dry a bit. So it's about right in there. Yep. And then I think we had some right here. Just darken this up a little bit more. All right. So let's see. We have our petals. We have our jars. So let's do our ground. Now, the ground is simple. It's your choice. If you want to use your paintbrush, you can. I'm going to use my paper towel because I like to paint with paper towel. I am going to take my paper towel, damp. I'm going to just grab a little bit of this gray paint here. And you know, I think I'm going to do just a touch of blue. Not a lot. I'm barely there blue. And I'm just going to shade in the ground. So I'm going to grab more gray paint. Let's see. I'm going to take my brush and grab it. So not a lot. It's just enough to clean up the little edges. There's a shadow here. Okay. Then paper towel. Let's see. I'm gonna add a little paint in here. It's okay to clean off things inside your glass jars because glass reflects color. And so any color that you get in, it can just look like a reflection of light. So now let's see where we are. I have a few loose petals falling here. You can add those if you want. Your color choice. Let's add in our green. We did not add in our green. Now, we want to be very subtle with this green because green will take over the entire party. So let's clean our brush. We're going to grab the green the way we did our black outline earlier, very lightly. So, I think that's, I'm going to wipe it one more time. So we are going to take the green and we're going to put it underneath the petals. So any little crevices that you can wiggle in, add your green. Pull it down. Because you got to remember, flowers have stems. So it's okay to have green streaks in your glass. Grab a little bit more. It's better to start off lightly and add than add too much and try to strip it off. Because green, you just have to be careful with green. Alright. So just dab it on in there, in the middle. We just want hints of it. And see, mine is just a bit. There we go. I had a few blobs, so I'm just dabbing it and blending it with my paper towel a bit. If you see something that you need to correct on your painting, go for it, okay? It's okay to trust your eye while you're doing this. All right, I'm gonna grab a little bit more green. Let's see, I'm gonna bring it over here. Okay. Maybe a little bit at the top. And you know, because you have the green so lightly on your brush, it's okay to make brush strokes in your jar. And you don't have to grab your paper towel to blend it. I'm gonna add some here. Get it up in here. Now, once you're done with your green, clean your brushes. Clean them well. I want to add some highlights to the jars. So we're going to grab some white, just plain pure white. On your clean brush, and we're going to go over our jars. Don't put a lot of paint on it. So that actually worked out. All right. So, oh, it's not working. It's all right. I can see it still. So when you get to a certain spot where you feel like, okay, what do I do next? Step back from your painting and just look at it. Like create some distance so you can see what you have going on here. So I'm going to darken my wall a little bit, and then I'm going to add a little highlight in here. I just want to see that little space where it's the separation of the jars. So while I still have white on my paintbrush, I'm just going to go ahead and do my little highlights. Right. Now, I am going to go ahead and add, I'm going to take my gray, but I'm also going to add a little bit of that navy blue to it. But I'm going to have more gray than blue. Now this is just my decision for my wall, okay? So you have to be a judge of your wall when you're looking at your painting and you're like, okay, that wall is just too light, I don't love it. It's okay to make a few artistic changes, okay? It's your painting. So I'm gonna go back in, I'm gonna re-add those lines and see all the lines that we brought down here, they're completely gone now. Let's see. There we go. And add that line all the way back. Okay. So I'm just gonna blend that in. Alright, I'm gonna get that little space there. So you have really reached a point where you're just playing now. You're just playing with your palette and your canvas and the image. All right. So I like that much better. I'm just going to touch up my ground a bit. All right. Let's see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, you are free to sign your name or you can keep working. It's completely up to you. So I think I've reached a place where I think I'm satisfied with my painting. But if you're not satisfied, then just keep going with it, okay? So I'm going to sign my name. Let's see, I'm going to use black to sign my name. But you can also use your Sharpie to sign your name too. You don't have to use a paintbrush. So I'm just going to... All right. Cool.